What's up, guys? I am back. I have been knee deep in tax season, and now I'm finally getting close to seeing the light of day. And I'm excited to get back on my YouTube grind, my YouTube hustle. For those of you that are new here, Brian Rivera, CPA. I typically talk about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and investing. And for everybody else, I got a whole bunch of things going on that I'm excited to update you guys on. So first off, my core business right now has been taxes, and I've been spending a ton of time training, coaching, and scaling the business to where I can eventually get to a place where I am making business decisions versus being so much in the day-to-day stuff. Day trading has been going amazing. I had a good first quarter. And then the other cool thing that happened this year is one of my clients actually is a developer. And so we've actually been able to automate some of the strategies that I have been trading with. So now, instead of me having to scan the markets, all this other stuff, I literally wake up, I get a message that says, hey, Brian, here's all the stocks that fit your criteria. Here's the entry points, here's the exit points, and here's your risk areas. So I don't have to spend a ton of time scanning the market now, where I can actually just trade based on what this algo or this code is spitting out to me. So, the developer's really excited about it, and we're actually even thinking about maybe potentially rolling this out as just like a service, and it's really geared towards somebody who maybe is a working professional and doesn't have a whole lot of time to dedicate to the market, but they do need those training wheels or that guideline to figure out, okay, how do I navigate this market? I've also been working on my first course. Really what this course is around, it's around two things. One is building tax-free wealth and strategies to eliminate the number one expense in your life, which is typically taxes, right? And eventually sometime this summer, I'm gonna roll out this tax-free wealth course, which is giving you guys, ideas, especially for entrepreneurship, people who are on their own, people who have their own businesses. This is going to be really good content for you. So if that's something that interests you, I'm going to leave a link below where you can leave your email address. I'm not going to spam you. I'm just going to, you just be made aware of when I get closer to actually publishing the course. And, you will be first to know about that. That's the update for your boy. And now I'm going to get into 3 types of income that everybody needs to know about. Let's go. So the first type of income we're going to be talking about is earned income. So earned income, time is money, meaning you are trading your time for money. So earned income is typically generated from salary, wages, even self-employment. If you've got a business that you work in, typically this is going to be earned income. So typically earned income is going to be based on what you put in, right? So if you put in a ton of hours, then your output is going to be Y, right? It's a linear equation. You put more work in, you get paid more, right? So some of the great things about this is it's quote unquote security as they pitch it to you. You have a secure job, you're with a company or a business that's very profitable, and you have good security, right? You know that on the 1st and the 15th or every other Friday that you have a paycheck coming in at a consistent amount and a consistent rate. Typically, you get the opportunity to participate in the pension plan, insurance plan. You get all this good, security. And the other great thing about earned income is that it is the baby step to your wealth making journey, right? So when you make a lot of money, you have the opportunity to generate other types of income, which are the other two I'm going to touch on. But typically, this is going to be your starting point of how you get into the other types of income that I started about, and that's from earned income. So some of the, downsides to earned income is that number one is sometimes you are going to be carrying out somebody else's passion, right? You may be working for a company, you may be working for a job that, obviously this is the CEO's mission, but you are just doing it because you're checking the box, because it's a job and it's, it pays the bills, right? So you're not necessarily passionate about it, but again, you're trading your time for money. So you are giving this business time so that way you can pay your bills, pay your rent, keep your lights on. So this is also probably the worst income to make from a tax perspective, is because you are going to pay the highest dollars on your income, and that's because you are a salaried employee. There is not a whole lot of flexibility of what you can do with your income. So you can't write off business expenses against W-2 income because you are salaried. Some of the things that you can do is, you can contribute to your pension or your 401k plan. You can deduct health insurance. Sometimes there's flex accounts, health savings accounts, stuff like that provide some type of tax advantages. But from a very high level, there's not a whole lot of stuff that you can do with salary type income. The other downside of earned income is that typically your earnings potential is going to be capped because, like I mentioned earlier, you're trading time for money. Well, there's only 24 hours in a day, so there's only so much money that you can make in that window. Usually you're going to peak out or you're going to burn out because you're putting in way too much hours to generate the money that you're looking for. So what happens when you stop working? Typically when you have earned income and you stop working, the paycheck stops working, right? So you're not getting paid again because, like I said, time for money. So if you are not working, you are not getting paid. And lastly, one of the downsides with having earned income, especially if you're working for someone, is that you don't develop the skill sets to generate wealth, right? Because you're not an entrepreneur. You just know, hey, this person is giving me tasks, this person is giving me a job, so I'm going to do what they're telling me to do, but I'm not thinking independently of how to make money. Typically, if you're an entrepreneur at heart, you can trade your time for money, generate that income. So the next type of income we're going to be talking about is portfolio income, which is probably my favorite. Now, portfolio income is typically derived from investments in the stock market, cryptocurrency type stuff, interest, dividends, and real estate. So it's typically capital income. So you're typically going to invest your money in these type of assets, and they only trigger a taxable event once you sell something. So if you bought a house, held it for 3 years, you sold it, you've just triggered capital gains. You bought some stock, sold it 6 months later, you sell it at a gain, you just triggered a taxable event. So with portfolio income, you're typically going to pay capital gains tax. So that's going to be short-term or long-term. If it's short-term capital gains, that's anything that you held less than 12 months, you'll pay ordinary income tax rates, no self-employment tax, just ordinary income tax. And if you held the asset longer than 12 months, it's going to be 0, 15, or 20% based on your overall tax bracket. Now the interest and dividends, those are going to be taxed at ordinary income rates. All right, so now we're going to talk about passive income. So passive income is a source of income that requires little to no effort at all. You literally are making money in your sleep. Now the IRS, or the old school definition of passive income, is income generated from limited partnerships, rental income, or limited partnerships inside of a business. So if you're a passive investor and you hold a limited stake, you may make a income based on your ownership percentage of that type of business. That's the old school definition. I think the new school definition is basically being able to scale a skill set where it can be multiplied, it can be monetized to where you can make money after that first initial pass. Like, that's why the allure for YouTube is so great, is because if you put out a piece of content and it's valuable and it's evergreen and it's something that people want to keep coming back to, and YouTube monetizes you, well, guess what? You can make money off of your YouTube content. It's a passive income, right? You make the video once and you never have to look at it again, and YouTube is going to pay it as long as people are interested in that content. So there's a small amount of maintenance to keep up with it. Passive income is generated from a variety of different ways. It could be a business. Maybe you generated some type of passive income from a business. Maybe you have an online course. This is why I love online businesses. Maybe it's a course, maybe it's an Amazon store, maybe you're selling merchandise. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do to create passive income. But if you can get to the point where you have to do little to nothing in the business and you still make money, that's life goals, baby. That's where you want to be. So dividends is another type of, I know I mentioned as portfolio income, but it also is a type of passive income. So dividends, typically when you invest in a stock, and if that stock has excess cash flow and they decide to distribute dividends to its shareholders, then you get that in the form of a dividend. Typically they're going to be qualified dividends subject to ordinary income tax rates. Another cool or new type of passive income is staking cryptocurrency, which is something that I actually am doing now. There's new decentralized finance, or DeFi per se, is now offering people rewards for staking their cryptocurrency. So if you hold crypto and you decide to stake it, sometimes, or they will pay interest on your cryptocurrency. So me, for an example, I use an account with a company called BlockFi where I get paid interest on stable coins, which are coins that are pegged to the US dollar. And then I also have some Ethereum, which also allows me to earn interest on the Ethereum sitting in the account. But this pays upwards to 5 to 8% on your idle cash. Like it's just chilling. So crypto fanboys, they could be on the side of, you heard not your keys, not your wallet, but other folks like myself feel like, hey, it's idle investments that I'm still generating money, because if I'm getting paid interest on something that is also appreciated in value, I feel like that's a double whammy, right? You get paid interest and that interest doubles, then you're winning, right? But at the end of the day, it's passive income. Now, the last type of passive income is I touched on the real estate side. If you own property, you have a property management company, you literally have to do nothing. Just make sure that that deposit hits on the first, the rent is paid, the property is taken care of, you're good to go. So I don't have a whole lot of cons on passive income. I mean, everything about it is great. And the best thing about it is there's no limit to how much income you can make on the passive side. It's just about finding, your niche, or being strategic about how you can scale, this type of revenue. Moral of the story, I wish I knew this some time ago. I mean, they don't teach this stuff in school. Literally, all I was taught was you go to high school, get good grades, you go to college, you get good grades, you get a degree, so that way you can get a job. You go to a good company, you work there for 30 years, and then you retire. Well, now I'm like, wait a minute. No one told me about portfolio income. Nobody told me about passive income. So now that I know these things, like, why enjoy your money 30 years from now if you can enjoy it now? But you have to make the right decisions. So the other thing is, if more people were entrepreneurial, not everybody is entrepreneurial at heart. Some people like that security of, hey, I go to work, I get paid, and I do this, right? So that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. For the people that are entrepreneurial at heart can have the opportunity to be more prosperous. Now, prosperous is not just financial. It's also your time and your talent. And time is a big one. And that's kind of why I love entrepreneurship, is because you can get to a point where you have enough passive income that frees up time. Now that you have time, you can now allocate that towards things that you're passionate about and that you want to dedicate to, whether that's, relationships with people, developing more meaningful relationships, or donating to charity, or pouring into your kids. There's all kind of stuff you can do when you have more time. But if you're stuck at a job that you hate and you're spending 50 to 60 hours a week, there's not a whole lot that you can do there. So at the end of the day, I know God has blessed me with a lot of resources, and I just want to be a good steward of the assets that I've been given. So my goal is to generate generational wealth so that I have something to give back to my kids and their kids and their kids, and then also to give back. And that is through charities, really just thinking about causes and things that people need help, right? There's a lot of people that need help. And so when you generate wealth, you definitely need to give back, and you have the opportunity to give that because you have excess. And remember, when you have excess cash, a lot of times that is not the best place for it. If you look at a lot of these high yield savings accounts, the interest rates on them, I don't even know anymore because I haven't even looked. They don't have that great a payout on it. So when you have excess cash, you need to treat that thing just like an employee. Hey, $1,000, what have you done for me today? And what has been the return? So I treat my excess cash like an employee. What exactly are you doing? Are you hanging out in real estate? Are you hanging out in stocks? Are you hanging out in crypto? Are you trying to generate passive income? So at the end of the day, each of my dollars need to report back to me on what they've been doing. The last thing, and to sum this up, is how do you achieve all three? I used to think that multiple sources of income meant multiple jobs. No. Multiple sources of income is the ability to generate earned income, portfolio income, and passive income. Once you nail the earned income, you need to start focusing on the other two, portfolio and passive income. That is how you generate multiple sources of income, so that way you are not working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. You're living off Red Bull and coffee. So it really comes down to understanding the tax laws and educating yourself. So everyone has the same rule set. It's just people that are, more wealthy, they understand the rule set, and that is because they are financially educated on how to leverage the tax code. They know that earned income is not the way to build wealth. Passive income is the way to build wealth. Portfolio income is the way to earn wealth. So It's all about equipping yourself with knowledge so that way you can be successful. So if you like today's video, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I generally wish you the best of luck on your investing, entrepreneurship journeys. Have a good one.